Welcome to GearCheckGames. This is part 18 of our commentary for Metroid Prime, the final episode. Last time, we collected all of the Chozo artifacts and attempted to access the impact crater. But,
here we are.
Ridley tried to get in the way, but, you know, the power of Christ compelled him to die, and we made it down here regardless. So today, we're gonna finish the fight. We're gonna finish the Metroids. We're gonna scan this super-de-duper Phazon because... Oh, I guess that's not a logbook entry, is it? Anyway, long story short, don't step in it. I don't understand why they made these, like, unique little gecko enemies. I mean, I guess it's cool.
I think it's to show that they are, like, basically straight-up foreign biological matter. Like, those are not native, like, those are not corrupted natives of, Talon 4. Like, it is just something that has come from here. Also, I love this place.
Yeah, this is a spectacular looking room.
Those giant teeth.
It almost has kind of a, it's so creepy, like, why,
you want to know what it reminds
giant
me
teeth
of?
in here?
It reminds me of, like, Quake. Like, this is absolutely something that I, like, could see coming out of, like, the mid-90s shooter era.
Zen vibes.
Yeah, Zen's another one, with all the platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are...
Anyway, as I said earlier, if you want to get through this room without engaging any enemies, just run as fast as you can to the end.
Yeah,
I get major Zen vibes from all the floating platforms and it not being fun to play.
But, like, just the impact crater in general, I'm really a fan.
Yeah, nice to know that this foreign, unknowable, like, eldritch abomination meteorite has convenient spider ball rails inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, what's Samus gonna do if there aren't convenient tubes?
Yeah. I don't know how that didn't damage me there. Also, this is one of my most favorite unintentionally funny bits of the game.
It's a face!
He just looks like a big silly face.
Yeah, I remember the climb to get to the Metroid Prime being way longer.
Yeah, because in that spiral room, if you have to engage those fission Metroids and they start, like, reproducing, they reproduce so fast.
Yeah. It's honestly not worth it to fight them. Just run past them as fast as you can.
God, this was right out of Alien, that presentation.
So
I love the design of Metroid Prime, which again doesn't really look like a Metroid, but as far as like final bosses go, I'm more than happy to have this creature design as our final encounter.
You say it doesn't really look like a Metroid, but you have to remember. Also, I want to point out, like, it almost looks like she's in her own suit over on that right-hand side.
Yeah, it's kind of framed like that, isn't it? Foreshadowing, perhaps?
But, so you say it's not all that like a Metroid, but you have to remember what the later evolutions of Metroids do end up looking like. Like, it's actually not that far off.
They don't end up looking like this.
Well, right, but she is corrupted with Phazon, but she is ultimately still a Metroid. Like, Metroids did, you know, kind of, once they evolve out of their alpha phase, they do kind of grow these, like, insectoid-like appendages.
Yeah. Why does it have a humanoid-looking face, though?
Phazon. I don't know why, but from a design perspective, I always kind of liked that touch because it implies that this giant monster has kind of like a human intelligence at its core.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really manifest itself in the fight, other than, you know, her changing, like, what beam she's equipped with to, like, counter your strategies.
Yeah. It does manifest itself at the end, though, because she is, like, reaching out to try and absorb Samus as a last-ditch effort to live.
Yeah.
Which, you know, then ultimately does... Because that's the thing, is, like, this is, you know, an intelligence, because you know what this creature becomes after this game, right, Joe?
Oh, yes.
So, like, and that creature shows intelligence.
Yes. Dead. Oh my god. Metroid Dead, my new favorite.
Metroid Corpse.
So, to go ahead and continue with the spoilers, I'll go ahead and spoil when we find Metroid Prime 2.
I like how we both had the exact same idea at the exact same time.
Bustin'.
Not even at the first time that it was used, but at the second time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll actually just spoil it when we get to the actual plot point.
Yes, but Bustin does not make Metroid Prime feel good.
But this creature does have, sentience and an intelligence. But, like Joe said, it didn't exactly come through on GameCube mechanics.
And that's fine, just kind of planting this. It just kind of hints that there might be something more to this creature than what meets the eye initially.
Not the John Deere beam.
We say that she doesn't have an intelligence.
Yeah,
we say that she doesn't have an intelligence. Also, I did not realize the thing under her all this time was a giant mouth. Until just watching this. I never noticed when I was actually playing.
It's a pretty gnarly design.
But, we say that she doesn't have some sort of intelligence, but, she's already adapting to you. She used the tractor beam to get you in close to melee use, since staying away and shooting at you wasn't working. So
what are your guys' theories on, this mutation of Prime? Do you think she's, an Omega Metroid that was just mutated by Phazon, or is she, a Queen Metroid?
I think she is a Queen Metroid, and, because the thing is, I don't think it was that she was corrupted after being, a later evolution. It was corrupted, early on, normally. But as it was allowed to grow, this is how the normal, growth pattern of the Metroid was able to be corrupted by the Phazon. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, the Metroid Prime looks like a monstrous, corrupted version of Bayonetta.
I can see that.
When Bayonetta eventually gets sucked into hell and becomes a demon.
Yeah, this is like Bayonetta, 5 centuries later.
Yeah.
Oh, also, another thing is, I called back to Quake and, that kind of things earlier. This also, speaking of, her going to hell and becoming a demon, this isn't terribly far off of what I would expect to see in, Doom.
Oh, yeah. You know what I think she looks like?
Except in Doom, it would literally just be like a giant head on robotic spider legs.
She looks like a crab
considering
lizard.
the fact that that was already an enemy in, Doom 2.
That was the final boss of Doom 1.
Oh yeah, and then they become a normal enemy in Doom 2.
Yeah.
One thing I was wondering when you were talking earlier about the Metroid life cycle, can any Metroid eventually become a queen, or is it
all Metroid
I'm not
queens,
certain?
Joe.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not denying that, but
I'm not sure personally. I'm just not sure personally. That'd be something I'd have to Google.
If you put the super crown on a Metroid, this is what it becomes.
Don't threaten me with a sexy Metroid Prime.
Metroidette. Dear God.
Can you imagine putting a dress on
we
this
have now
thing?
truly strayed too far
if you
from
put the
God's
super
grace.
crown on the Metroid Prime, it just becomes Bayonetta again.
Yeah.
She's like, finally, I'm free! No pull. God.
If only we could use our spin dash
The
there.
Metroid Prime just pulls out a comically large magnet.
How many?
Just holding it with his little crab appendages.
How many space pirates do you think they had to feed this thing a week to keep it alive?
Not
Well, they couldn't get in there, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Depend on which version of the game you believe the lore of.
So I did
The one that doesn't make sense, or this one?
I did do a bit of quick Googling, so it's not that every Metroid can become a Queen Metroid, but it is only certain ones that have the genetic precursors to become one.
Yeah.
And live long enough to become one.
God, this area looks so cool. This is where it really starts to resemble the Leviathan seeds in Metroid Prime 3, which, I mean, obviously, also banger music track here, banger final boss theme.
Yeah, man, and I really enjoyed this final boss. Talking about intelligence and whatnot, this is just kind of straight up like a Mega Mind
It's just Megamind. You've ruined it.
You're fighting Megamind's decapitated, tentacle-ridden head.
Mm-hmm.
And with that,
100%
that's all the
item
skins.
and logbook.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, we're done with the game. Let's just quit now. Thanks for joining us.
Unfortunately, when I recorded this, I did not think to just look in the middle of the screen where it says 100% scan entries.
Yep.
And instead I was like, oh no, I need to go through everything and check manually to see that there are no question marks in the logbook anymore.
Well, not only that, this text here was existed on the previous screen even before the logbook.
It's still going.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of enemies in this game, a lot of logbook
with
entries.
it and said, yeah, I'm just, celebrating and appreciating all the,
just like, I needed
content
Metroid...
that this game has to offer.
I told Metroid Prime to wait for a second. I needed to make sure that I got the logbook complete.
She just pulls out an iPad and she starts flipping through it. Just hold on.
Yeah, but like, this is...
You'll
like,
get your turn. Everybody does.
Like, this is such a creepy boss. And I thought this... Like, mechanically, I can see where this doesn't exactly hold up in today's day and age. Because it was a little frustrating in a couple spots. Notably, the first half in those hallways was not always the most engaging. Like, this boss is just really cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah, conceptually, I will say, as far as this part of the fight goes, it's kind of a drawn-out, like, endurance round, where, like, hopefully you come into this boss fight with, enough health to last it out, but, like, actually, yeah. I think it refilled my health after the initial Metroid Prime fight.
You get a good portion of health ups whenever she destroys all the pillars in this room. Yeah, she'll do that little blast and destroy all the pillars in the room, and you'll get a nice little chunk.
I was wondering why my health was so much higher than it was. And...
If I recall, I think the Fission Metroids in here will spawn gold health pickups too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, my issue here is that you kind of just have to, like, wait around and dodge Metroid Prime's attacks until it decides to spawn the Phazon pool, because the only way to damage it is by, entering the Phazon pool and going into hyper mode.
Yeah.
Because she's right there.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the thing, it's just, like, even the first stage of the Metroid Prime fight, it's just... It just feels a little, not tedious, but like you said, kind of drawn out.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first one is definitely spongy, but I feel like in that one, at least you can pretty much always damage her, at the very least. Whereas with this one, you are very much just waiting around for her to, do the attack that allows you to fight back finally.
Yeah.
Which is something,
like...
In spite of how, like, aesthetically cool this boss and its scenario is kind of lame.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, right? Like, this is, adapting basically the Hyper Beam from Super Metroid. Where Super Metroid does it so much better is the fact that, like, you don't have to do anything special to get, like, fire the Hyper Beam. You just have the Hyper Beam, and you just continue the fight with the Hyper Beam.
I feel like maybe this fight would have mechanically landed a little better if there was some way to like fight back against her without damaging her, or you have to fulfill a certain criteria in order to make the pool of Phazon appear instead of just waiting for her. Like, why is she doing that?
Yeah, I feel like it would have just been way better if it was just like constantly spawning pools of Phazon around, like at a much faster rate. So you had to be like running around the room to get to the pools of Phazon so you could damage her.
Yeah, at that point, maybe just give her more health. Till if she's giving you more Phazon, that is.
I mean, also, here's like my hot take for it. Basically combine Dan's thing, but make it to where you have to fight like her tentacles individually. So like as she goes to do different attacks, it'll, you can damage different tentacles, and that will, progress the boss fight. Because then it's just, a little bit more engaging. There's, clear, like, oh, if this one attack's, giving you trouble, you can focus on those tentacles, etc.
I would laugh if mechanically added, like, say she's in one of the X-ray or heat visor spectrums. She spawns like that red Phazon that can't hurt you.
Oh yeah.
So you can't tell that it's red Phazon until you switch over.
Oh damn.
That would
Yeah,
be amazing.
brutal.
That would be interesting, and kind of in par with the whole like gotchas that Metroid is always kind of known for. Again, the number of times that I've fallen down certain like missile pickups. Ugh. It's the devs.
Like,
just
don't get
going,
me wrong, it is
"That'd be
still
a
pretty cool and cathartic to use like this supercharged phase-on beam to kill the final boss.
Oh, for sure.
And I like that it's a function of the suit that you don't know about until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and again, like this, like the phase-on suit, was entirely unintended. Like, Samus did not intend to just be squashed by the Omega Pirate.
No, she knew deep down that when that Omega Pirate landed on her, she was going to get an awesome phase-on resistant suit. Because that's what happens when a large
Creature falls
entity
on you.
falls on top of you. You just absorb their powers and properties.
Yeah, like I mean,
In real life, kids, try it.
It would make sense that she was going to pull like some sort of technology out of the Omega Pirate, because that's just kind of how Samus does these things. It's just like, all right, I found all these cool goodies laying around. I'm gonna just use them. So like, she was gonna do something to take something from the Omega Pirate, but like,
She's Zandatsu, the Omega Pirate or whatever.
yeah. So like, the fact that it just like turned out to be a suit and from landing on her is just Samus like, cool, thanks. I'm gonna go ahead and use this now. I don't know what it does, but thanks.
Now, Prime's getting low on health here, but keep an eye on her health bar when I get the Hyper Beam the next time, or possibly the time after. Because something wonky's about to happen.
I'm ready. Oh,
God.
no.
First we gotta deal with this fish and Metroid. Last one, hopefully.
She go into the negative HPs.
No? She doesn't quite make it that far.
Whoa!
Oh.
I
give
killed
up.
the boss somehow without depleting all of its health.
She's a
Can
quitter.
this even be considered a victory?
So what that actually was, Joe, and it's kind of hard to tell.
Oh, had it just not caught up graphically to where
Yeah,
I was
well,
yet?
no. It's as you do damage, the bar kind of has two different colors. There's the color that is like the health that is actually remaining, and that's like a solid white. But as you do damage, it does like a translucent white, and then that translucent white starts to go away, almost like just as the animation of losing it, basically. It's almost like your health bar, but your health bar will have white. When you take damage, a portion will go to orange, and then that orange portion will like shrink to show it going away. It's basically that.
We did it! No, that makes sense. It just, it didn't look like it was depleting. It looked like she just
that's
gave
the
up with a
issue,
chunk of
is
health
like
left.
where when you take damage, the portion of your health bar that's like getting ready to disappear is orange. Hers is just a slightly different white.
Samus looks on in horror at all this JPEG fire.
I was noticing that too. I was like, there's a lot of 2D fire down there.
Honestly, it doesn't really look all that dangerous there. Because the fires are so small.
God, though, I love this ending.
At least not dangerous for someone wearing a power suit.
Man.
Like what I always got from that look was just, like she stopped Metroid Prime, but like who knows what's going to happen to is the planet too far gone to recover?
Yeah, no, the planet is absolutely gone. Talon 4 was a lot of the non-logbook scans in the Chozo ruins basically were implying that it's like, yeah, this world's just a husk now.
Mm-hmm. Although in Prime 3, you do find out later that Talon 4 was like able to recover from the Phazon infestation.
So like nature slowly comes back.
Yeah.
That's good. Is there like a logbook entry in 3 you said that says that?
Yeah, I think there's like a similar observatory to the one in the Pirate Lab in this game where you can kind of check up on Talon 4 and Planet Ether from Prime 2.
There's this whole scene with Samus and a giraffe.
We can't go.
It's a little confusing, but I appreciated the moment of levity.
She's the only one immune to Phazon, so the Federation wants to go inside of her brain.
Oh, Also, if any of you aspect ratio nitpickers like me are a little confused here, yes, I did vertically stretch this footage to be like the correct shape, because normally when you're playing this in widescreen on a Wii or a Wii U, this is like... Well, first of all, in the original GameCube version, the credits were in widescreen, so it was letterboxed. But for the Wii version, they just stretched out the 4x3 letterboxed version.
They made it
so it just looks like squished and crappy. You know, instead of just zooming it in, which is what I did, after like properly resizing it. I don't know. I am the only one who cares about these things, but it does get under my skin.
It looks nice. Like, it doesn't look warped.
And I did that with pretty much all of like the footage from this point onward, because... Oh, hey, it's Kensuke Tanabe. There he is. Risa Tabata.
I saw Iwata-san.
Kenji Yamamoto, marry me.
Who did this music track? Who was the music designer for this game?
Kenji Yamamoto.
Oh. Because this theme is... so good.
Uh-huh.
I think Leslie Swan's still with him, too.
Wasn't Leslie Swan the original voice of Princess Peach in Mario 64?
I think so.
Yeah. Back when they just had like the localization team do the voices.
Yeah.
That was back when NOA was real small.
Dear Samus, please come to the Frigate Orpheum. I have baked a parasite queen for you.
I do have to.
Yours truly, Ridley.
I do have to admit, for a moment there, I thought, I was like, wait a second, did we miss a cutscene? And then I remembered that what I'm thinking of happens after the credits.
Uh-huh. Yeah, in the original GameCube version of these credits, the last like credited section was just a very long like thank you list from the staff members to their families for like putting up with this severe crunch that had to happen for this game to come out on time, which, you know...
It was definitely pushing.
Kind of wish it wasn't like that, but, you know... I suppose it was 20 years ago now.
Their work paid off. Like, this is a legendary game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
But so, to talk about the thing that I mentioned earlier, so we noticed there that the Metroid Prime grabbed on and
Samus
stole...
action figure.
That's right. But, so at the end, we noticed that the Metroid Prime grabbed on and stole and absorbed Samus's Phazon suit.
We're getting to it, Trent.
Yeah.
Man, she just got that suit, too.
I thought that was in the animation. Yeah, the ending animation showed her, like, rip it off of Samus. This is showing her rebirth.
Yeah, this is the aftermath. It ain't over. Metroid Prime is back, and this time it's personal.
It just
Metroid
pops out
slime.
the Metroid Prime 2 box.
Also, if you look at the design of Dark Samus in Metroid Prime, doesn't have an eyeball hand.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. I think it would have been really, really nifty. But
Just make Dark Samus, but it's got like eyeball hands, like the monster from Pan's Labyrinth.
If Samus was a Zelda boss, just eyeballs everywhere.
As I was mentioning, this will be a very, very intelligent antagonist that will haunt Samus for a while in the next following Prime games. See you then.
We'll check that one out a few years down the line, but yeah.
It's probably gonna have a stupid name like Evil Samus or Dark Samus or something.
They'd never do something like that.
Shadow the Samus.
Shadow the Samus.
Her name is just Samus backwards. Sumas.
Oh god.
Sumas.
Daffy Sumas Duck.
They had to make Shadow Samus's helmet extra large for all the extra darkness.
They just call her Shadow, and it's just Shadow from Sonic.
Well, my boys, do we want to once again? Well, I feel we've talked a lot about Metroid Prime in the last 20 episodes or 18 episodes. I can count, but like, I feel like we've done a lot of nitpicking, and I don't mean to like give this game a free pass because I love it so much. Like, things like that should be brought to light, but I also feel like maybe we could have been a little more positive at times, because this is absolutely one of my all-time favorite games.
True. I mean, I think I kind of hinted on some of the stuff I'm about to say here. It's one of those games where, like, so much of the experience is just, like, the first-time experience of exploring all this. It's new, and you're really digging deep into it. So, like, we nitpick it on a lot because like you can't relive that first initial experience. So like everything that's, you know, nitpickable kind of shines out a little bit more. But like when you first play this game for the first time, going into it blind, you're an all-alone explorer, badass bounty hunter, fighting her way through this world, figuring out what horrid thing has happened to it. Like, it's a really good game.
I think it's one of those games that you can watch somebody play it and get like their opinions and like see what they do, but like to play it is a different experience. Like it's one of those games that like you just kind of like shut the lights off, don't let anyone else in the room, just go. Just like go absorb.
Well, I think that's what made it so like magical for me the first time I played it, is because, you know, like I mentioned, I was out at this like lake house in the middle of the country, and it was the middle of the night, and I was like the only one awake, just playing this game by myself on this giant TV in like a dark basement, and it just it just felt so real to me then, and like well realized in terms of all the like the log books and the little like pirate data logs, you know.
It was immersive.
It was one of the first games I had played that like truly felt like a believable and real. It was presenting a real world to you.
And then the Metroid Prime reached out of the screen and pulled your soul out of your body.
Yeah, that part wasn't so good, but you know, here we are. Somehow I survived.
Joe's been an empty husk for years.
Same.
Isn't that just being an artist?
Yeah.
That's why all of our logos are
no
black
comment.
and white. He lost all the color in his life.
Yeah.
But seriously, this game is
That's not true.
but seriously,
Anywho.
this game is like it's like it's one of those games where like to me words can't describe how good it feels to play and how fun it is to just like go enjoy it.
Well, yeah. If you haven't played Metroid Prime before, and for some reason you've watched all the way to the end of this series, I would say just, you know, play it for yourself. Don't worry about like trying to get to the end as efficiently or as quickly as possible. Just enjoy the game. Just enjoy the world and all of the great art design on display, and you'll have a great time. I hope, if you enjoy games for that reason.
Honestly, it being a Metroid game aside, it's just a good sci-fi game. Like, scratches that itch for me.
What say you, Dan?
It's a good game.
Good. You're getting your paycheck this month. Anywho.
So what's up next on the docket?
Yeah, now that we've got all of our Metroid Prime yammering out of the way, I'll let Dan field this one, because he's taking care of our next A game.
Yeah, a game that possibly nobody watching has ever heard of, considering how many people watch us.
Considering how nobody is watching.
Yeah. It's Wonderful 101 remastered.
Yay! For the PC.
Yeah. So be there or don't be there. I don't know, I'm not your dad.
Be there. More people should play
But
Wonderful
he is
101.
your mother.
Okay, I don't know where this conversation's going, so I'm going to end it. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.
Bye, everybody.